Hey, I'm Alexandra Harbushka, founder of Life With Herpes. Welcome to my office. Okay, today we're going to talk about how it's hard not to find somebody with herpes. Okay, I have my laptop here. My desk is not in yet, so we're just going to pretend like I'm sitting at a desk. You'll probably see it in another video. Anyways, so I have some stuff here I want to quote from the CDC, the WHO, a lot of great stuff here, and I definitely don't want to miss it up. The reason why this is important is because when we're first diagnosed, we feel so alone. And second of all, we feel like, or when we're dating and we get rejections, we're like, oh my gosh, how do I handle this? Well, yeah, maybe the person should find someone that doesn't have herpes, or they say they want to go out and find someone who doesn't have herpes. They don't want to take that risk. Well, the truth is that herpes is so common. You're going to be astounded by the number, how common it is, that it's actually easier to find somebody with herpes than without herpes. Here's how. Okay, honestly, it is very hard to calculate this number. Different companies, the WHO, the CDC, they all have a little bit of a different statistic. Some of them are global, some of them are US only, some of them are they range ages 0 to 49, some of them are 14 to 49. I'm like, well, what happens at 55? Like, you just not have herpes anymore at 55? So we definitely have to look at all these numbers in place. So let me just start off right here. So I found this information from the CDC, and it states that 572,000 people are diagnosed with herpes every year. So that's genital herpes every single year in the United States. So 500,000 people will get genital herpes in the United States. Nationwide, that's 11.9% of the people ages 14 to 49 have HSV2 infections. And they say here they adjust that to 12.1%. Again, is it 11.9, 12.1%? Again, these numbers kind of change. One of the things that is interesting about the statistics, it talks about genital herpes. Well, now genital herpes is very common to also be HSV1. So we have to add HSV1 in there. Is that oral? Is it genital? So there's a lot of different moving parts. What's also very interesting is HSV2 is far more common around women than it is men. So right here it states that it's 15.9% women with HSV2 genital than it is men. It's 8.2%. So there's a lot. I have a thought process on that. Women are much more exposed via sex, as well as we wax, shave, trim, do all these things. And that hair is actually a natural barrier. So that hair actually protects us. Okay, moving on. There's another article here from John Hopkins. Never say it. John Hopkins, Rumpelstiltskin. I don't know. John Hopkins. There we go. Says that between 50 to 80% of adults have oral herpes. So again, it's a big number. Is it 50? Is it 80% have oral herpes? The WHO states that there's an estimated 491 million people living with HSV2 infections. That's equivalent to 13.2%. Well, earlier we read that was 12%. Again, these numbers change based on, is it 14 to 49, all that. So with all that being said, I just want us to know kind of how common it is. WHO estimates that 13% are living with HSV2 and 67% are living with HSV1. And if for me doing the calculations, if you take, the HSV1 plus the HSV2 percent here, we're looking at over 80% of people living with herpes. Again, I will have this all linked for you. You can pull up these own articles. You can do your own research. Like I said, it is kind of hard to get an exact number, but over 80% of the population is living with herpes. So back to when we have conversations, especially during disclosures, and someone might reject us and say, well, I don't really want to take the risk of getting herpes. Here's the thing, is that, like I said, over 80% of the population has herpes, HSV1, HSV2. HSV1 can be oral, it can be genital. HSV2 can be oral, it can be genital. A person is more likely to find somebody with herpes than with not. The other thing that's very, very interesting is up to 90% of the population that has HSV2 does not know that they have it. So they will go undiagnosed. I have a whole other blog, podcast, YouTube video on that as well, that I go into the details on that. The other thing that's also very interesting is over 90% of the population will come in contact with herpes. I'm gonna say that again, 90% of the population. So when, again, we're dating, when we're talking to people, when we're even dealing with our own diagnosis, we can look at it and say, wow, I most likely came into contact with herpes prior. This is just now when I got it. Like I said, with 2 out of 3 people having HSV1, we've all kissed more than 3 people in our life. Let's be serious, whether it's a grandma, whether it's a parent, whether it's a sister, whether it's a brother, whether it's a lover, whatever it is, we've all kissed more than 3 people in our life. And then with 1 out of 6 people having HSV2, most of us at some point have slept with more than 6 people as we continue on through our life, right? So we've all come in contact with herpes, whether it's oral or genital, at some point. Again, it's not about how many people you've slept with, how many people you've kissed. I'm just trying to put this in here statistically that can help us understand, and we can use this when we're talking to partners, when we're disclosing, when we're talking to friends. The more information that we know, we can use as an education to help just educate people. All right, if you're new to herpes, if this is something that is very heavy on your heart, which I completely understand it is, and it was for me as well when I was first diagnosed, I have a ton of information on Life with Herpes. I have close to 300 blog posts. I have a ton of information. But what I do have and what I put together, it is free. It's a free ebook. You can download it. It's everything I wish I had known when I was first diagnosed. So it goes through, what herpes is, what herpes is not, ways to prevent outbreaks, a lot of great information. So if you're looking for more statistics, more information, I do have that all linked for you somewhere. I also have all these references for you in the notes below. All right, let me know what questions you have on this. Let me know what other information you would like to hear from this channel. I almost burped. And I will see you soon in the next video. Thanks, guys.